Los Angeles had this thing called the Housing Covenant, which defined where certain communities could live, right? In essence, if you were black and brown, you were designated certain areas of the city you could live in and others that you can't, right? Central Avenue was that border for black communities in Los Angeles, right? So people of color could only live east of Central, right? And south, right? So this street was literally the border, right? Where people couldn't own property, legally couldn't own property, and couldn't hold business and whatnot, right? So during the 1920s and 30s, the jazz scene was the major kind of entertainment business in the country, right? So a lot of those major jazz artists would come to LA to go perform at the fancy hotels in Hollywood, Beverly Hills, the West Side, right? But they weren't allowed to stay there, right? And so one of the places that we're gonna pass by, called the Dunbar Hotel, was started by the Somerset family, who was a wealthy family, a black family who lived in the area, who built that hotel to cater to these artists, right? And around it built the jazz scene in Los Angeles during that time, right? So you can imagine back in those days, there was a bunch of like jazz clubs and other eateries and hotels where the major artists of the time, like Etta James, Billie Holiday, all these famous jazz artists would come, and this is where they kicked it when they came to LA, right? This was the scene, right? And that legacy exists to this day, right? Every year, a jazz festival is organized on Central Avenue. The street is closed. You see the jazz logo that's put right there in the corner, right? There's recognition of that story, right? But it's embedded in this redlining, right? These marking of a map of Los Angeles, and you can see the legacy of that, right? Because it's those communities that were red back then that are red to this day, right? They're the ones that are red with the Calvin viral screen, right? They're the ones where you can see the underinvestment, right? This is Dunbar up here to the right.